doing really well. How are you?
Great. How's Los Angeles?
It's warm. It's hot. It's Los Angeles. It's beautiful.
I just spoke with someone an hour ago who is also based in LA, and she said, "Oh, it's absolutely beautiful here." And I had been out there in July for a few
Uh-huh.
days, and I sweated my ass off when I was out there. I'm like, "It's hot out here." I thought, and my son is like, "But it's a dry heat, Mom." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know about that." So,
Yeah,
um,
it does get hot here.
definitely. So, I would love to talk about your career as an artist. And I think what's really interesting to me is the path you have taken to arrive in this role as artist. So can you tell us a little bit about, like, what was really your first experience with art? The very
Like,
first time you like engaged with the practice of creating a piece and it just really like resonated
uh,
with you.
yeah, that it would have to go back years and years when I was young. And my mom is actually, or was actually a fashion designer in Korea. And so she's very artistic. And she's always had us do artistic crafts and projects. She was never scared about introducing us to paints and markers and whatnot. So I grew up with art, surrounded by art, thanks to my mom.
And you, career wise, did you start in fashion photography? Was that really your first?
No,
No.
career-wise, started in fashion as a women's wear designer. And
Interesting.
I hated the industry, hated it. It was just not for me. It wasn't a positive place for me to be in. So I picked up photography as a hobby, and one thing led to another, and I just became a professional photographer just by picking up a camera.
What really did you enjoy as a fashion photographer? Like, what were some of your favorite experiences?
Oh my God, so many. I truly loved photography. There's just so many experiences to name. I met some incredible people who I'm so fortunate to call friends. I've traveled to a lot of exciting places. I mean, photography is just, it has a special place in my heart. Unfortunately, it was time to let go once I started a family.
Hmm.
Um, and so that's what led me to being a painter.
Tell us about that moment. Like, what was like the
Oh,
first piece that you created when you made that transition?
oh my God, that's embarrassing. And one day I will have to show the piece on Instagram or something. I think I went to Blick one day and I had no art supplies whatsoever. Over the years, I had just kind of let go of my art supply, um, after moves and whatnot. So I went to Blick. I just picked up some acrylic paints, trying to remember what I had forgotten for a long time. Came home and I was like, what am I doing? I don't even know where to start. And just kind of did a little Jackson Pollock and threw some paint around. And I realized it was the first time in a long time that I got lost in my own world. And I didn't have to worry about my anxiety or my depression or my PPD or worrying about whether I'm being a good mom, whether I'm doing enough. I was in my own little world doing my own little thing, and it just gave me this escape that I really needed at the time.
Were there any particular elements of your practice as a photographer that you brought into that creative process?
Yes and no. If you look at my past photography versus my paintings now, I guess they have similar qualities in that they're very soft, soothing, kind of calming. My photographs were the same way, in a sense. So I guess that's what I crave and look for when I create. I look for something that brings solace and comfort, and just makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside.
like, as you were moving into this space, who were the artists who were inspiring you?
Helen Frankenthaler. I'm obsessed with her work. Who else was there? There's a current artist named Adrienne Nieves, and her work is very reminiscent of Joan Mitchell.
Okay.
And just a lot of movement and vibrancy, and it's just beautiful. And her work has really not influenced necessarily, but inspired me recently. And Joan Mitchell, like I just mentioned, Frida, I love her. I love her irreverence, and I love her personality more than her work.
What sort of experience do you want someone to have observing a work of yours?
I want someone to get lost in my work. Just take a moment and immerse themselves in it. My work, I love to have just either whether it's one color or several colors. I just love having that wash of paint over the canvas. So it's almost like you're stepping. I want the viewer to step into my world and experience the emotions that I went through painting the piece, whether it's whether it's being solitude or peace or calmness. I want the viewer to feel the same emotions.
What are you creating right now? What's inspiring you right now? And what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to some normalcy, but I don't think we're ever going to get back to normal again. I think we will have a new normal, so to speak. As far as what's next, I'm still painting, I'm still creating, I'm working on commissions right now, so I've been busy with that. And then hopefully once I'm through with those, I'll be able to kind of, do my own thing, so to speak. So. Blue. I just love blue. It's calming. I know.
I like blue too. I really love song.
You're wearing, love it.
Love blue.
This is really random, but I used to collect rock photography. Yeah.
Really?
I'm really into classic rock and rock bands. I mean, I love that whole culture. An image from Led Zeppelin. Well, it wasn't Led Zeppelin. It was Robert Plant and Jimmy Page on stage at the LA Forum. And
oh my gosh.
I still have it. I don't know where it is, but I know I have it. And that was probably my first big piece where I went, whoa, like I feel like a grown-up now.
All right. Well, now the next time I'm in LA, I know we weren't able to see each other in person, but next time I'm taking you with me to Whiskey A Go Go, and we'll go catch some bands.
Oh, well, I used to go there all the time.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have a specific dish or food, but the best meal I've ever had was in New York City at Le Bernardin, Eric Ripert's restaurant. Mm-hmm. I was walking around Manhattan that evening. I was on a business trip. I was walking around Manhattan and I was starving. And I said, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to a great meal because I deserve it. And I happened to be a few blocks away from Le Bernardin, and I called them and I said, it's just me. Do you have a table available for one? And, she was like, yeah, come in. You can sit at the bar. We have more than enough spaces.
Oh,
but I walked in and I mean, I spent quite a few pennies on the meal, but to be honest with you, I would do it again in a heartbeat. It was the most amazing meal I've ever had. Paris. I love Paris. Love it, love it. I've been there several times and it's just, it feels like home to me. Second would be New York. I love it. My husband and I went to Hong Kong several years ago. And on our flight back, we had a layover in San Francisco. and it was supposed to be, I think like an hour layover. It turned out to be an 8-hour layover. And we were sick. We had minor colds, and we were freezing in the airport. And they kept saying, "Oh, your flight is delayed an hour. It's going to be another hour." Every hour they kept delaying it. And we were like, if you had told us, we could have just rented a car and driven home and we would be home faster. There seems to be a lot more women who are getting recognized. I feel lately spotlight has been on women artists, which is wonderful, and about time, I think, right? But
Yeah,
but even still, it's disappointing. I am still a little disappointed at the industry and the direction it's going. It's been a lot of talk, not so much about the walk, I feel like, when it comes to women artists, and which is unfortunate, which is because there's so many women who are doing incredible, phenomenal things out there, and they don't get the same press or recognition, and it's tragic. It's really tragic.
or the valuation.
Yeah.
That's the part that I always look at as a collector and say, wow. And my hope anyway is that maybe now is a good time to pick up some of these pieces, because 20 years from now,
Right.
20 years from now, a Nina Lance might be worth a lot. Should hang on to it.
We'll see. We shall see. Time will tell. Collect what you love. Don't follow the money or the investment. Collect what you love. Collect what speaks to you, and you will never get tired of it. You will always love it. It will always have some sort of meaning for you, and that's much more meaningful than having a wall full of Andy Warhols that mean nothing to you. If you want to go the investment route, good for you. I'm jealous, but to start collecting from the heart, I think just, it doesn't matter if someone else thinks it's ugly or if it doesn't work with the space. Art is art.